Welcome back. Today we're going to do a Carolina Panthers 7 round mock draft after they acquired the number 1 overall pick from the Bears a couple weeks ago. They trade up some of their first and second round values along with DJ Moore to go ahead and get that first overall pick to get their quarterback of the future. So we're going to get right into it and get the Carolina Panthers quarterback for the future. Now, for my money, I would pick Bryce Young. I've mentioned it before. If you look at some of my old 7 rounds, like the Texans in my full first round mock draft, I've explained why I believe Bryce Young is my number 1 quarterback. But from everything we've heard from the Panthers, I really believe they're leaning CJ Stroud. I think they love his accuracy and fundamentals and footwork. I mean, that really showed off at the pro days and combines. Like, this dude's just, he's probably the most accurate and most fundamentally sound quarterback in this class. And I think they love that about him. Josh McCown, their new quarterback coach, has just been raving about him. He's talking about playing one-on-one basketball with him in Carolina and stuff. I mean, I think this dude he's in love with CJ Stroud, and I think they just love this dude. So I think they go him at number 1. I think there's a little jockeying going on right now at that number 1 pick of, they're saying they don't know who they're going to take. I think they're trying to get some value from maybe the Texans, kind of fleece the Texans. Like, if the Texans want Bryce Young, maybe they make it seem like they're getting Bryce Young. Maybe they snatch like a 3rd or 4th round pick out of the Texans to just jump back one spot and still get Stroud, who they want. We'll see how it all ends up, but in the end, I do think they end up with CJ Stroud as their quarterback. And now, when you get into the rest of this draft, they don't have that many picks. I believe they have like a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th, and that's it. One other pick, I don't remember exactly, but like they don't have a lot of like late round picks. So looking at their roster, they have a pretty well-rounded roster, and really they have a really deep receiver room. Which is they don't have like that dude, but they got lots of dudes in like Terrence Marshall, DJ Chark, Adam Thielen, Laviska Shenault. They just got lots of dudes in there. And like, I don't know, other than picking like a first round receiver, I don't know if we're gonna get great value at receiver in the draft. So I don't know if I'm gonna really aim towards receiver a lot in this draft. I think O line, D line, and corner are some of the positions I definitely want to be looking at, and just getting more depth on that defense in general is something I want to look at in this draft. And now Brian Branch is staring me in the face. I don't know how the hell Brian Branch is available here in the 2nd round. I'm probably going to end up taking Brian Branch because it's a mock draft, but I do want to go over some more options at the 2nd overall because I don't think Brian Branch will be there. But it is a mock. You never know what's going to happen. So I'll go over a couple other players I like here at the 2nd round pick, and then we'll go ahead and take Brian Branch. But edge is one thing I want to like, and Adi Tomiwa is actually one of my favorite players. I think that will fit really well in this Panthers. They're bringing over Evero from the Broncos, and you saw what he liked to run with Denver. It's kind of like he ran a lot of 5 down stuff, and he likes to kind of run. You have like your stand-up DN, and they had like Chubb and Browning over there in Denver, and you have a lot of your like the interior guys that can, they can play like nose, slide over to 3 tech. Sometimes they play 4, even a 5 technique, depending on. He likes to have really unique fronts on that defense, and I think Adi Tomiwa would be perfect for that front, just because Adi Tomiwa, I think he can play anywhere. I think he'd excel best as like a 3 technique. You can kind of see Draymond Jones kind of played. If you look at Broncos defense, watch what Draymond Jones kind of played, and it's something that I think Adi Tomiwa could kind of replicate. Derek Brown can be your kind of true nose tackle on that defense, and then Adi Tomiwa can play that 3 technique in a 5 down front. He'd be one of your 3 techs. And then you got Brian Burns, and maybe Yetzer Gross Matos finally takes that step, and he can be your other outside dude. And then you got, like I said, Derek Brown and Adi Tomiwa on the interior, and you got a really good D line, and that's just gonna increase your pass rush so much more. So Adi Tomiwa, if Brian Branch wasn't there, would definitely be my pick. That's where I'm going. But somehow Brian Branch fell, and we take what comes to us. If a kid gives you candy, you take it. I don't think I've ever actually heard that before, but they're giving me candy and Brian Branch, and I'm going to take that because Brian Branch is just one of the most versatile dudes in the draft. I mean, he's coming in at safety. I think he could play that more slot corner, but he's just so versatile. One of the smartest dudes in this draft. Everyone raves about how smart he is coming out of Alabama. And I just love this dude. I think he's going to be a top 20 pick when it's all said and done. I think he'll be a top 20 pick in this draft class. But if he's there in the 2nd, that's an absolute steal because Brian Branch is a dog. And a dude who, like I said, I think he ends up being more of a slot corner in the league. But I mean, you pair him at slot, then you can play Dante Jackson, J.C. Horn on the outside. You got a really good secondary pair with Jeremy Chin and Von Bell in the back end. That's a really good secondary, and I think that's one of the best secondaries in the NFL, especially if J.C. Horn, like, we saw some signs of like elite corner play last year. If he can stay healthy and continue into next season and be like an elite corner 1, Dante Jackson just has to be a good corner too, and that's one of the best secondaries in the entire league because Brian Branch will step in and be able to play day one for this defense. Now, round 3, I want to attack that D line, like I said, still, but we're gonna go a little bit of a different direction. I'm gonna go with Zach Harrison. I think Zach Harrison is a freak. I think he's a freak athlete. He didn't perform at the combine, which I think we would have had a legendary combine if he did. But like he's like 6'7". He's a humongous dude. He's gonna do that. I think can play that 3 technique in the league. He can slide out to edge. Like I said, we want versatile dudes in this front with whatever is going to bring over from Denver. And Zach Harrison's just that. He's versatile. He's not super big, so I don't want him playing like a 3-down role on the interior. But I think he's like an edge dude that can slide onto that 3 technique. Because like you see on 3rd down, he loves bringing in those kind of edge rushers into the D tackle positions. It's one of the things that's being huge in the league, just taking advantage of, like, I mean, you get Zach Harrison on a guard on 3rd down, and that's a good game. I mean, that's see you next time. That's a sack every day. So Zach Harrison, I think, would be a really good fit in this defense as just a versatile defender. Now coming up in the 4th round, I did mention I want to attack offensive line. Andrew Voorhees could be incredible value here. I mean, Andrew Voorhees was dude talking about like 1st round. He had some injury issues and he's kind of fallen, but like great value for an interior lineman, which is one of the biggest positions it needs, I think, for the Panthers. So he's definitely Blake Freeland's my favorite, like one of my favorite later like mid-round tackles in this draft class. Talked about him in my offensive gems video if you want to go check that out. So he's another dude that you'd be taking Blake Freeland, sit him a year behind Taylor Moton, then hopefully he takes over at right tackle next year for you. For my money, though, I'm going to go ahead and take Andrew Voorhees, a dude who can step in and fill that interior role where they need some help at that guard position. He can step up and be a really good guard for the Panthers. You know they want to run the ball, and they need to protect their new quarterback, so he'll fit in and be able to do both of those for the Panthers. Now coming in the 4th round, one of the dudes I really wanted to pick, but he's not here, is Kenny McIntosh. I think is a great fit at running back for this team because we've seen Miles Sanders gets taken off the field a lot on 3rd down. He's not a great pass catcher, not great pass blocker, so you kind of want a 3rd down back, and I think Kenny McIntosh being probably the best receiving back in this class. I mean, I don't think he dropped a single pass at Georgia. One of the best receiving backs. I think he'd be an incredible fit with Miles Sanders in that backfield, but he's not there. I think Roschon Johnson could fill that role pretty well too, but I don't know. Roschon Johnson, I do like that fit. We'll keep it in the back of my mind as we kind of look at some of the other positions. We kind of feel that I think linebacker you could use some more depth, but there's no one. I mean, Ivan Pace I think is a great player, but I don't know if I really want to take him here. Some depth behind Hayden Hurst and Luke Schoonmaker couldn't hurt. Receiver, I do like Michael Wilson here if they want to go receiver as a guy, but for my money, we're going to make it fun. We're going to go Roschon Johnson as a dude to pair with Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders isn't a dude that, like, being an Eagles fan and watching him, I don't want Miles Sanders. I don't think he can handle like a 25 carry load that I think the Panthers want in a running back. So if you get a dude like Roschon Johnson, who's a great receiver too, I mean, you can kind of pair those two together and have a nice running back committee. I think Chuba Hubbard's still on the team, but like, I mean, Chuba's had his opportunities to prove he can be that guy, and I just don't think he has. So I'm going to take a dude like Roschon in the late round where Carolina loves to run the ball, get another dude who can run it, and be just a great value there in the 4th. Now, 5th is our last pick in the draft. So these picks go by fast in Carolina because they don't have a lot. You can see the Bears kind of got the volume out of the trade. They got that number 1 pick. Without a lot of volume, you kind of want to take the best available. I still think they could use some D-line help, and I don't mind Byron Young here. Mike Morris is another interesting dude, another versatile guy who can kind of play that D tackle or edge rusher out of Michigan. Another dude who I think, if I didn't go Zach Harrison, I think Mike Morris would be a pick here just because that versatility fits really well there. But looking at tackle, maybe get some more receiver depth. I mean, Michael Wilson's still here if I want to attack that. I do like Riley Moss at corner, but I did already attack Brian Branch. They do have some good cornerbacks already. For my money, I'm going to go Michael Wilson. I just want to give CJ Stroud as many weapons as I can. And, like, we don't know if Terrence Marshall's going to be great. We don't know if Laviska's going to be good. We don't know what Adam Thielen's going to be looking at his age. I think there's just a lot of questions at the receiver room. So let's just take the Tampa Bay strategy at corner. And let's just put as many bodies in that receiver room as we can and just hope that one of them ends up working out in the end. Because realistically, you got CJ Stroud at 1. You want to give him as much help as you can. We got him O-lineman, running back, and receiver to kind of help him. Like I said, they got some help in receiver, and they got Hayden Hurst DJ Chark, Adam Thielen. They got some help at receiver, but I just want to pair more bodies in there. Michael Wilson, dude, balled at the Senior Bowl, high upside with that good height and beautiful route running. Got some good speed too. But anyways, that's gonna be it for my Panthers 7 round mock draft. Let me know who you guys will go with as your #1 quarterback. I have my quarterback rankings coming out. I think like just before my draft. I think my last position rankings I do because personally I still kind of I have an idea of my rankings in my mind, but I still want to get through them more and kind of figure it out after all the pro days are done and everything. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get a Bears mock draft so you can see the other side of the straight how it turns out. That'll be out later in the week. The next week we got D-line position rankings starting, and our position rankings will go up until the draft with some 7 rounds and some full mock drafts, pushed in here and there. Anyways, Panthers fans, let me know what you guys think. Any picks you would change? I know Brian Branch, you guys say he probably won't be there, but players fall all the time. I would have said you're crazy if Nakobe Dean was there in the 3rd round for the Eagles last year. So crazy things happen, and Brian Branch would be an absolute steal. That's probably my favorite pick in this entire draft. But anyways, I'll see you guys for the next one. See you guys later.